So the time right now is roughly about 3:30 in the morning. And when the Wii was actually released, I actually worked not at this Target, but one just like it. And from the moment the store closed at 10 o'clock that evening, the lines were already like 20 people deep. And we've traveled, I think, to about 4 or 5 different stores this evening, trying to find even if we could like interview people for like why they were getting a Wii U, what they were looking forward to the most about it. But the truth is, it looks like with the concept of pre-orders and reservations, that these long lines that people used to wait in the cold are long over. So, unfortunately, there's no interviews. Instead, I give you this. Looks like progress has finally moved us in the right direction. Hey everybody, welcome to our Turkey Day episode of RetroGamerGirls. I'm Zoe.
I'm Wanda.
And we probably spent a while trying to figure out what game to actually play for this one. And seeing as there was a couple things happening over like the last week that we really felt was kind of fun to touch base on. One obvious, and probably a lot of people aren't watching for this very reason, the Wii U has come out. And of course, it's Nintendo's new system. Everyone's out having a field day on it. We don't have it, of course, so we're going to stick to our retro stuff. And secondly, I think the bigger reason we actually picked this game is because, as everyone knows out there, the final fucking Twilight came out last week. And that means we're done with that shit. So what better way to say goodbye to a pile of shit film series than with good vampires, or not so much vampires, but vampire hunting and vampire killing. So, wouldn't you agree anything was better than that?
Yes.
Considering you were covered in glitter, what, 24 hours ago?
Yeah, it was pretty sparkly.
Actually, it wasn't even that. It was probably about 6 hours ago. So yeah, the choice was obvious after that. It was Castlevania. It's like, go back to the original roots of video game vampires. It's like, you don't get much better than the original Castlevania.
It's just like another game I haven't played.
Yeah.
I have to admit it because it's true.
Which is really odd because, and actually I just found this out while actually getting ready to do this episode. Castlevania this year is actually celebrating its 25th anniversary since it was actually released in '87. And I think that just gave it one more reason to make it really worth kind of touching base this year. So, and you actually wanted me to start this game off, right?
Yeah. Yeah, because, you know, I can talk about the crappy-ass movies. The crappy-ass Twilight series.
Well, talk about what you know.
Actually, I'm kind of embarrassed to even admit that I know stuff about it.
Well, that's what happens when you're a fan,
That's a pretty cool moon.
Yeah. That opening, God, I can't tell you how many times I've even played that even in the arcade. I love it. It's like this stage alone, the music behind it is just legendary. And unfortunately, I know you can't hear it.
No.
That's something that you'll have to like listen to later once the episode's done.
Right. That would be a good idea.
But I can't tell you.
Aw, there's floaty hearts in this game too?
Those are actually, yeah, those are your power-up for your, like, I have the knife up there.
I love floaty hearts.
Actually, it looks kind of like the same one now that you think about it.
Stop.
Yeah, they stop.
Okay.
You need them because otherwise you can't use your daggers or your axes or many other weapons that are actually within the game.
Right. And speaking of hearts, vampires have none. So, let's talk about Twilight.
Alright, let's get that train of shit rolling.
Well,
Crap, I did not. I always get that by mistake.
And didn't you read the first? Did you read the first book or the first 2 books?
I made it about 4 chapters into the original Twilight book and realized if I ever saw the word "I" one more time, I was going to kill someone. I couldn't take it. Writing a book in first person, present tense, was probably one of the worst things she could have decided to do.
The books were really tough to get through.
Sophomoric?
Yeah. I mean, I don't even really understand what possessed me to even read it. I mean, I think I got swept up into the frenzy of it. So it was really kind of easy for me to just follow suit and be like every other person in America that was reading.
Just easier to follow the crowd, huh?
Sometimes. I mean.
But you know what, though? I will say,
or be informed, really.
whether being a fan of the book or not, honestly, kind of comes across as somewhat irrelevant because it's not the book that really created the hysteria. I mean, the books themselves, had they not had the movies, would have had their cult status and gone on to live in their own right.
Yeah.
But the fact that we were, I don't even know the right word, bombarded with 5 crappy films, all based on a line of nothing more than anyone who's even looked at the posters know the truth. Let's stare at each other, wish we had each other, and pretend our lives suck, and we deserve everything.
You know, I actually got more of a kick out of the social aspect of it, like after the movies started to come out.
Mm-hmm.
I admit, I have a slight guilty pleasure of, cheesy celebrity gossip blogs. And I remember...
What's that you call the main actress?
K-Stu?
Yeah, that's it.
And I just remember reading, Perez Hilton, his blog, and, sometimes he would post the things about, K-Stu and our paths breaking up and getting back together, and, back in the day, that shit was kind of appealing to me, because I was like, ooh, what's going on? Celebrities, ooh, I want all the gossip. But then after a while, it got kind of pointless.
Well, it was all pointless.
Completely pointless and arbitrary. But I mean, I think that what was really interesting for me was being able to see how the movies kind of how they mesh with the book, and then how they have like the wolves. Mm-hmm. How they did the wolves on screen, because that was actually really a big question in the books, and when the first movie came out, they were like, how are they gonna do the wolves,
Mm-hmm.
And just the fact that I don't know, for 1 minute there, I thought they were kind of badass. For 1 minute.
Well, I think it's safe to say the werewolves were actually the best part of the movie.
Yeah.
It's like they really kind of like, the vampires were just crap. It's like the concept, how they created them, how they...
Yeah, it was like, they were pretty crappy. I mean, even the makeup. The first movie, it was like, are you fucking serious? Like, am I watching Twilight or Powder? I mean, seriously.
It's a good comparison. On top, I've said this actually from the get-go, and I know there's a lot of people that actually agree. If the only weakness a vampire truly had was they glitter in the sun, I think the world would have been overrun by vampires a long time ago.
And I need to say also, we just recently rewatched Twilight, but we watched it in a little bit of a non-conventional way.
You can say how.
Was it Riff Tracks?
Yeah, Riff
right?
Tracks.
Riff Tracks, which was the first time I've ever, outside of Mystery Science Theater that you showed me,
yes,
that I was able, to see that. And the whole scene where it's like, oh, he's in the sun and he's glittering. It was it was bad glitter.
Uh-huh.
It wasn't even like really great sparkly glitter.
Well,
it was like shitty glitter.
It was like they couldn't decide how they wanted to do it.
Yeah.
They either needed to like just go harder with it, because I mean, if that was as much as he was going to glitter, I know people that go to raves that wear more than that.
Seriously.
So it's like they either needed to go harder, or they just needed to cut that entire concept out.
Right, and it's like, I mean, I don't know.
Freaking Medusa heads, bullshit.
Boy, it almost looked like it sucked you right down into the hole. Like,
Medusa heads are probably one of the worst problems in the Castlevania games. Which is weird because you would think Medusa heads would like turn you to stone. No, they just fly around and knock you over.
Well, that's...
I lost all those hearts. Oh my god.
Well, you had a lot of them.
But you were saying?
No, I was just gonna say, I think I was just gonna say how it was like, I couldn't tell if he was glittering or sweating.
A lot of the time you couldn't. That's... Okay, time for the trick there. Hey, I'll take that.
Nothing like a little boost.
Glitches are always welcome. Let's see, here? Yeah. Oh, God, I hate this.
I don't know. I think that when it comes to Twilight, I am really happy that it's ending. And if you actually follow some of R. Pat's interviews, he really kind of hates the fact that
R. Pat?
Yeah, R. Pat.
I'm guessing we're referring to James Dean Jr.
Yeah. Mr. Cool Hand Luke himself. Like he really kind of disses on it. He really kind of, you know, he's kind of funny about it. Kind of almost makes you like him a little bit more because he knows how absolutely ridiculous that all this fame and
I don't know, because, you know, it was like when he was in Harry Potter. I mean, you remember that one, right? Obviously, movie 4.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of his personality, I think, showed through in that movie. It's like, it seems like he is kind of like that playful and that arrogant. I mean, yeah, he's saying he loves the fact it's over now, but, I mean, what film has he actually done that anyone actually remembers otherwise? I think he did 2 other films during Twilight, and neither of them did anything.
Well, I think, again, he had his own following, really. I mean, and I don't think that... I really don't think we should base his whole acting solely on the Twilight movies.
Whoa.
Did it kind of like...
Oh, I hit the pause button.
What?
More glitch!
That's a creepy thing.
Come on, freak. There it goes. I'm sorry.
What is he doing?
I just won the level.
Yeah, but what is that going on?
It's tallying down my score.
I'm getting confused with that lamp thing in the background. It looked like he was ripping his robe off all like Hulk style.
That would create a new dynamic in the game for sure.
Is that ivy?
What, in the background?
Yeah. Is that ivy growing on stone?
I have no clue. You are asking me to define what plant is growing in the video game.
Well, it looks kind of like ivy. And even on those sculptures.
I hate those little hunchbacks. This game has a lot of really piss-off things.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, not doing my best here.
He's
There it
throwing
goes.
stones.
Gee, who would have thought you would go there?
I should just point out all the things that look really phallic and wrong.
Well, then you won't be talking about Twilight.
Yeah, because, you know, a couple of broken pieces of bed frame.
Biggest disappointment ever. It's like they could have created so much more out of that sequence.
They could have. I mean, and they built that shit up.
They did.
I mean, fucking Bella was a horny bitch in that movie. And he was all like, no, I can't do it, you know. My super vampire hard-on of doom will kill you.
Is that really what it was about?
Yeah, he was afraid that he was so strong that he was gonna, like, rip her in half or something. He was really afraid of his strength, like, not being able to control himself. And, I don't know, like, rupture her inner monologue or something.
Her inner monologue?
Yeah, her inner self.
Actually, at that point, it probably improved her. That way she didn't talk like she was freaking Shatner. I swear that ruined... You know, those movies sucked to begin with.
And you notice, it wasn't even like she was all that smiley the morning after in that last movie.
Would you be? If you just had sex with a skeleton, would you be that?
I don't know, but if I was ruined real hard, I'd be happy about it.
Really?
Well, I mean, you know, they didn't even have sex at all. It's like, no premarital sex. But I just think it's kind of weird because what sexual encounter between a human and a vampire creates a child?
That actually has happened quite a few times.
Has it?
Actually, if you want to believe... Well, no, actually it wasn't intercourse. Did you ever see the movie Blade with Wesley Snipes, based on Marvel Comics?
Actually, I have, but a long time ago.
He was turned... I believe how that story went was, and everyone online is welcome to correct me if I'm actually wrong, but I don't think I am, was his mother was pregnant and she was just bitten by a vampire. And it was enough to infect him and make him a half vampire.
Interesting.
And there are actual books where I'm gonna die here, fucking Medusa, you can go to hell. But there are books where vampires are born. That is not... Other than the glitter and the really bad special effects of looking like the original Christopher Reeve Superman running in the wind, she didn't create anything.
You better
there.
hold on, Spider Monkey.
Yeah. God.
Let me scale this tree. That was one of the cheesiest things.
Everything in that movie was cheesy. Name one thing in that movie that wasn't, honestly. I mean, you seriously cannot do it.
Okay, but I think my favorite part of the first movie was when Edward goes and rescues Bella.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wait, no, maybe that was later. See, I don't fucking know. Anyway, they end up in Port Angeles, right? And then they're in the little restaurant. And remember how he's like, I can read minds, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they're going through, and he's like, I can tell you what everybody in this room's thinking. And he's like, sex, money, sex, money. And then he says, cat. He had the cat guy. That cat guy was an amazing actor. He's the best actor in the whole movie.
So for 5 seconds, there was a good moment in the movie.
Yeah. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, you guys should go find it. I mean, he's the cat guy. So yeah, it's funny.
You know what still kills me, and I don't know how many people actually noticed, it doesn't seem a lot of people actually did, was the stupid licorice. I mean, did you notice the other day when we were watching how much was in the movie?
Well, I mean, I don't know really if there was all that much licorice in it. I mean, maybe I saw them gnawing on a couple of pieces when they were at the beach and stuff, but maybe they all just, you know, had oral fixations or something. They needed to keep something in their mouths.
Not going there. So not going there.
But I mean, I don't really think I have anything positive to say about the last two Twilight movies.
Well, bearing in mind, we still haven't seen the last one.
Except I will say in that wedding sequence, the dream, how everything was all white.
Mm-hmm.
That was pretty. That's pretty much something I have to say. It's like, I remember that. That was nice.
Well, good visuals aside, was there, as far as the story goes...
Well, they just, you know, I mean, dividing the movie into two parts.
Oh, that was a Harry Potter play.
Drawing it out like that, I mean, just sitting there, it was so boring. I mean, it was like...
Well, what do you expect? They seriously only did it because it worked on Harry Potter. And
yeah,
the Hollywood conglomerates that own Twilight... I cannot believe I just died all on that.
oh no, you had the continue screen.
I did. That is really, really bad. I'm
tired
a lot better at this.
I'm tired of looking at the fucking ivy.